celibacy in hairdressing. Did you ever say that? No. I'm not sure. Well, hello and welcome. Today we have Jack Howard with us, and we just wanted to go through Jack Howard's course this morning. This guy is, we've been following this guy for some time now. Absolutely an incredible colour technician. So we're so proud to have him on board with Hairdressing Live. So I just wanted to ask Jack a couple of questions here. You've been educating for many years, Jack, actually. And
a couple of decades, yeah. So
a couple of decades, yeah. And do you know what? I just wanted to ask the question was, what does education mean to you?
Well, for me, from a personal perspective, it's knowledge, and knowledge is power. And when you have that power, you're in a stronger position within the salon to make more money.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
I do believe in the way education is presented. Knowledge is power unless it's applied, I suppose. What advice would you give? People do these courses, I suppose. Isn't true that constant repetition as well for people to practice? Because I suppose whenever they do a course as such and they learn it, they see something happening. It's important for them to go back into the salon and practice it, right?
Well, it really is. I teach from the perspective that I work behind a chair, 4 days a week, 5 days a week if I'm not teaching. So I'm a real commercial high street colourist at the end of the day. Just my high street's Brompton Road at the moment in Knightsbridge, but that doesn't matter, it's still commercial. But the key learnings that I always give out is practice. Because if you don't do the practice, what's the point of going on the course in the first place? So the course really, I think that my courses have relevance to you as a high street colourist, who's for your consumers. And then you go home and you do it again. And the great thing about Hairdressing Live, of course, is that you can reflect back on the video as well.
Yeah, that's very important. You just mentioned high street colouring and things like that. It's nice to hear things like that because high street colours is to the mass-produced market, realistically, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, but I think that the mass
wider
market
audience
has changed the conversation in the UK rather than the hairdressers changing the conversation. It was things like Instagram, in many ways myself coming back to the UK and talking about balayage when nobody was doing that, Alex at Bleach doing dip dye. It is not what it was 7 years ago. High street colouring is very different. Colouring is really creative at the moment. People are really game for different things, but at the same time they want beautiful hair.
Yeah. I think you capture that perfectly, with your, although it's very creative, it's very commercial and it's very sellable. It has to sell at the end of the day.
What woman doesn't want to look like a Victoria's Secret model? Or at least have her hair anyway, so.
Very true. It's about complimenting, isn't it? It's about complimenting, making people look even better. I suppose that's ultimately our job, isn't it? Really?
Absolutely, and I think that it's about making people look better. It's about instilling confidence maybe in somebody. We do a lot of things as colourists and cutters that people don't really think about. We're one of the few places where people actually get touched. A woman could go all day without somebody actually sort of saying, "Are you okay?" So we're a very sort of sensitive community, and we're a very caring community.
Yeah, very true. Because we're very in that close proximity with customers, aren't we? It's almost like psychologists, aren't we? What did we say? Psychologists. We engage with them in a different way to most.
We totally engage with them, and it's a very personal kind of environment to be in. I often sort of think that. What do I often think? I don't know. I've got a blank. I'll come back to that one.
Okay. Look, you spent a lot of time. You mentioned that you've had 2 decades in in your career doing education. Can you take us through and walk us through, for the viewers there, your American career? Because you spent a lot of time over there, right?
Yeah, I did. I spent 18 years in the States, so it was a long time, really. I moved to America in 1993, and I walked into a position in a very busy salon, commercially successful salon in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And I took over a role of a young lady who'd gone off to work at Frederick Fekkai, who'd opened in New York City. And up until that point, I was very traditional English, 3 colours in my foil highlights. It was, it took me an hour and a half to do that, and it took me half an hour to do a tint and everything. And they taught me how to work differently. We were expected to do 18 to 24 colour clients a day. We had an awful lot of assistants. It was a very different way of learning and a very different way of approaching a client, but it still was luxurious. And I remember my first client saying to me, "I want my hair to sparkle." Well, I'd never heard anything like that in my life, and I was like, what does that mean? And that was the beginning of me understanding how to actually communicate with the consumer, rather than talking to her as a technician.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's quite a sort of a point that I measure it by. And by the time I left the States in 2010, I'd gone from a clientele that was 100% foil to about 75% balayage, 25% foil. And I was billing at that point over nearly $500,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
billing, not making, billing.
Okay. Wow.
But, yeah, it was very busy.
My God. Look, I mean, you mentioned there as well, I mean, 18 clients a day. I mean, I'd say some of our viewers are going, my God, how'd you fit that many people in? I mean, and still make people feel, I suppose, that high-end luxury sort of environment, because I'm sure that's what you've worked in. I mean, you mentioned those names, Frederick Fekkai and others. I mean, 18 clients a day, that's a lot of clients.
Well, 18 was a bad day.
18 was a bad day.
24 was a better day.
Oh my
But
God.
then I knew people that were doing 30, 40 clients a day, but they were having lots of assistants applying their tints and whatever.
So they'd consultate.
They'd consult and then mix and then assistant. But I didn't do that. I actually did my consultations and my mixture myself. But that's a young man's game. I couldn't do that now. I mean, I'd be absolutely worn out. I did end up, with wrist problems and things like that. But, so now I'm happy with sort of 8 to 10.
Yeah, okay. And do more education, like you said
Yes.
earlier on. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think it's good. I think you're educating a lot of people at the moment, and I know you do a lot of courses all over, don't you? You do in salon courses as well, don't you?
I do in-salon courses, so basically I've got quite a nice gig, really. I have my own company, so I offer 4 different types of education on my website, which is jackhoward.co.uk. Just push that in.
Yeah.
And then I educate for L'Oreal Professional as a guest artist in the UK, and I'm also an international guest artist for them, which is great, so I get to travel internationally. I'm doing a little stint in Abu Dhabi 5 times a year at the moment, working in a salon. And I have my own range of hair extensions with Beauty Works online. I created a range of balayage extensions.
Very
So,
good.
I'm out there.
Jesus, he's a busy boy. You're a very, very busy boy.
I've been called a boy in a long time, but thank you very much.
Very good indeed. Look, I mean, your speciality, I mean, even today you're covering the whole balayage technique, right? What does balayage, why does it appeal to you so much? Like, what's
Well, I think initially it didn't appeal to me at all. I was quite set in my ways, and I was making good money with my foil highlights, my traditional English foil highlights, which is a pre-lightener, a high lift tint, and a toffee blonde. But what I realised was women were going to New York to get this done, and it's like, or to LA, and it's like, well, why aren't I doing that? So I put myself on some courses, which is what you're tuning in for today. And I also started working with somebody who was French, and balayage is a French technique that's been around for a very long time. And what I saw, the difference was that it created a softer, more natural, more youthful look, which appeals to women from sort of 16 to 70, because of the softness of it. There's that soft and more natural grow out. So the reality was that you were creating beautiful colours that were just very commercial, and the looks make people feel relevant.
Yeah. almost like bespoke colouring almost.
Well, it totally is. I mean, you know, you've got your standard foil section pattern. There isn't really, I mean, there's a standard sort of application method that I teach, and a slightly standard sectioning pattern. But what you are doing is that you are actually working with the hair itself, you're working with the natural fall, you're working with the natural variation in tone, you're working properly with the hairline. So you are actually, each individual person is different.
Yeah, very good indeed. I mean, I love the colouring. I love it because it's sort of, I mean, it's wearable, it's sellable, it grows out gracefully for customers. You know, and again, I mean, it's what sells realistically. I believe it's an incredible technique. So, I mean, we've had a couple of questions come in, and we just sort of put them to one side so we could ask them for you anyway. So,
here goes.
so you know, your favourite celebrity hair colour, you know?
I've got a few really. I mean, I have to say, So Just Polka is the balayage icon in many ways. You know, the way it's changed over the years has just been beautiful and seamless. I love Jane Fonda's colour. My friend Nancy Braun in LA does that, and she looks great. But then you've got Christy Teigen, who just is as hot can be, going out there. I mean, there's loads of girls out there that are looking great at the moment.
Yeah, just new up-and-coming people, and
Yeah.
like bloggers nowadays, isn't there? There's like so many sorts of increase of like, I mean, social media as well. It's like all these new, it's like famous social media people coming out there as well.
Well, we don't call them bloggers now, we call them influencers.
Influencers, that's right.
Influencers,
that's
so
right,
yeah, the game's changed.
It's game-changing, isn't it? So look, again, what's on everybody's tip of the tongue as well? Who influenced Jack Howard? You know, back in the day, who was your hairdresser muse? You know what I mean? Obviously, coming through your career, you know, I mean, obviously you're a very experienced hairdresser, but back in the younger days of Jack Howard, when, which wasn't too long ago.
Those were the days. It's interesting, really, because I think that wherever and whoever you work for, there are people that impart information to you and guide you and help you. And there are also those people that you sort of bang your head against the wall with. But when you reflect back on your career, I think that most people that I've come into contact with have helped shape who I am today, which is really nice. I have to give a shout out to Salon at Elo in Washington DC, to Gary Walker and Terry Bell, who really saw something in me that I didn't see or hadn't been seen in me at that time, and really pushed me hard a lot of the times. And my friend Nancy Braun in LA, who's just amazing and very generous and kind. And at the moment, Paul Edmonds in London, Paul and the team are so supportive of me, of what I'm doing in my career. And it really is one of those salons where you go in and you're looked after as well as the clients are looked after. And it's a very kind, safe environment to work in, which I really enjoy.
That's good. Yeah. People feel welcomed in there, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it all leads from Paul all the way down, but there's just a team of great people in there that all get along really well, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, it's nice you said that actually about everybody. Okay, so look, I mean, we've also like a couple of quick questions here, which is more favourite blonde toner. Do you have a favourite blonde toner?
Well, you know, I like a baby blonde. I like a nice clear. So I don't tend to say toner though, because kind of toner always feels to me like something that's gone wrong. So I was talking in terms of glazes and glosses, which sort of adds shine and colour, and clients react better to that. I like a 1012, I like a 1021, to give me that sort of slightly baby blonde feel, if I need it. I always like to finish with some sort of glaze on there. I don't like to leave it a raw pre-lightener. So even if it's just clear with a dash of something in it, go-to, happy.
I mean, look, I think even the wording that you used, even glazes and things like that, sounds a little bit more appealing. I think it sounds almost like glaze on food. You know?
Absolutely. And I think
you could eat it.
Well, you know, women understand makeup terms and food terms, and so it's like if you speak to the consumer in that language, they understand it more. And the thing about it is, its pH level's acidic, so it's similar to what the hair cuticle is. It closes the cuticle, adds shine. Who's not going to want that?
it's sold really. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so another question here was favorite rose gold formula.
Don't. Rose gold. It was the bane of my life last year because it was. I'm wearing a rose gold wedding band, and to me, I see more warmth with a slight hint of pink in it, whereas some people see it with more copper. So again, I think that's really a communication issue with your clients about what their idea of rose gold is. So I have a Pinterest board with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, very good. So look, pre-lightener. What pre-lightener would you use for your balayage?
Okay, I've used the same pre-lightener that I've used since its launch back in the 90s, which is Platinum by L'Oreal Professional, part of their Studio Blonde. It's a paste lightener, and I like it because the consistency is lovely for me for that whole sweeping action. And although it has 7 levels of lift, and there are products on the market that have 8, I'm happy with 7 levels of lift. I'm not looking to take my client to a level 22, which, as we know,
doesn't exist, but
is out there. So yeah, I go to that. It's my go-to.
Okay, very good. Another question as well. As highlighting and colour has evolved, I mean, do you ever use foil anymore? Do you do many foil clients or?
Well, you know, I try not to, but there are people that want foil. And so I think last week I did 3 in one day and nearly thought I was going to have a heart attack. But generally speaking, no, my go-to is balayage. But I am a colourist, and therefore I can balayage, I can foil, I can tint, I can pre-lighten. You know, that's my job, and that's what I'm to do. And if I need to use the foil to create that look, then I'm going to use it.
You've almost created a niche then, really. Have you? I mean, as colouring has evolved, it's almost like it's because you still see a lot of foils going on, but I mean, it's almost like a niche, isn't it? It's like bespoke colouring and.
Well, I think that maybe it was a niche in 2010 when I landed on it in the UK. Absolutely nobody was interested in it at all, which was quite interesting, considering it was so massive in the States. But I was quite Americanized by that point. I'd sort of spent most of my adult life in America. And so I was like, well, you know, if I go and work in some of these salons, I'm going to be pushed to the back of the room doing foil or something. And I'm like, no, I'm going to make this happen, which is a very American thing. And now, you know, it's very much part of the menu in a salon. And some people do it very differently. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a way in which I teach it, and which is really easy to replicate time and time and time again.
Yeah. What are the key learnings from today? Like, I mean, for the guys that are going to tune in.
Well, your key learnings are, one is practice, which is up to you. The second one is less is more, because actually balayage is about creating contrast. Tension, which is incredibly important. Consistency of product, which again is a huge thing. Sectioning, hairline and parting, which a lot of people are frightened of going close to the root. So we're going to be doing 3 different applications. We're going to do classic balayage, which is root to tip. I'm going to show you some creative balayage, which is where you don't go right to the root. And I'm also going to show you micro balayage, which are super fine, delicate pieces.
Amazing, amazing. Can't wait for that, actually. Got some tongue-in-cheek questions, okay?
All right.
What's your, so we get down to the real nitty-gritty here of Jack Howard, okay?
Oh, okay.
Your favourite movie?
Favourite movie, Truly, Deeply, Madly, back from the 80s, Juliet Stevenson and Rick, what's his name, Rick? Alan Rickman, there you go, that's my favourite movie.
Favourite book?
My favourite book is a little bit strange, it's called Geek Love, and it's about, set in America, circus freaks, and it's from the perspective of a dwarf, and it's a very sad story about love and feelings and emotions and all those things, but it's beautifully written, and it's about outsiders.
Favourite city?
My favourite city depends on the weather. So it could be London in the springtime, which is really interesting to look at, or it could be New York City.
Okay, two great cities, actually.
Yeah.
Mac or PT?
Mac.
Mac. You blonde or brunettes?
Well, you know, everyone thinks I'm a blonde, but I do a great brunette. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Smoothie or fry up?
With this body, it's a fry up.
Favorite shoot?
Favorite shoot? What shoot?
Like a favorite. Well, you can say today, actually.
My favorite, I think my favorite one is always the one I've just done.
Okay.
You know, there's always lessons learned in that.
Yeah. Favorite decade?
I would like to have been in my 20s in 1970s in New York City.
Okay, very good. Great era, actually. Great decade. Favorite designer?
Favorite designer? I'm not so sort of smitten on all of that stuff anymore. I really like what Gucci's done this year. Some really nice stuff. I used to be mad about Dolce & Gabbana, but I think you mix it up now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Sun or snow holiday?
Sun.
Sun. Okay. Your smell. What's your smell? Favorite smell?
How very dare you? I like a bit of Joe Malone, actually.
Joe Malone.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite person?
My favourite person? I think my favourite person has to be my husband.
Okay, very good. Good choice. Are you a cat or a dog person?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't go,
I like animals.
You like animals?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so listen, I mean, can I just ask, and we'll get to end with this actually, because what does hairdressing life mean to you?
Well, it is my life, really. I mean, I don't have many hobbies. I'm either trying to keep up with my Instagram account or keep up my website going or looking at developing new strategies, you know, creating new looks and things like that. So I'm quite absorbed by the industry, but the industry is so varied that it's not just about working in the salon. There's lots of different things to go to. I do like the old exhibition, which kind of keeps me interested in it. And I also think that hairdressing education has changed so much, and that's why I'm here today to do this. This is a new way of learning, and it makes me accessible to more people at that price point. So that I'm really going to be interested to see how today goes.
I mean, it's we are so happy to have you here. I mean, for this platform, because it is completely brand new, and I mean, you would usually charge, because you know. It's good rates. I mean, it's still very, very valuable, but it's just this has become. We're just pushing it out to a wider audience of people and lowering the price a little bit. So it's €20. It's like you have the access of Jack Howard here and get to see his masterclass. Watch it back and watch it. You have lifetime access to watch it back, which is absolutely incredible. So
it is incredible
because you can say, okay, I picked up that, and you can go to work, you can do a couple of clients, and you can think to yourself, that wasn't quite right. Let me go back and look at that. And so for €20, you're actually getting something that you can just reference back to all the time. Whereas you can't do that if you come on one of my courses. You get a one-to-one with me maybe, or you get 15 people in a room, and I make sure that I reach out to everyone. But you can't ask that question again. So it's a slightly different way of learning, and it's a new concept, and I think it's something that we're going to see really grow.
Thank you very much. Look, I mean, guys, if you don't have a ticket already, please do so now. You have until 11 o'clock, so you can purchase a ticket today on hairdressinglive.com. And you can just choose Jack's course and purchase, and you have lifetime access to that for €20. So we hope to see everybody at 11 o'clock. You're going to see Jack do his masterclass. So you can ask questions also during the virtual classroom. So look, we hopefully see you all then. Okay, thank you very much.
Bye, see you later.